Reporters are watching a nuclear explosion during Operation Plum Bob. It was June 24th, 1957. There's a woman in a traditional bathtub. The year is 1911. The Montreal Hockey Club, winners of the first Stanley Cup, 1893. John Lennon recording Abbey Road, 1965. September 1941, in the occupied Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, a Cossack policeman captures a Soviet partisan, and some Hungarian soldiers are amused by it. Students at Liverpool Drama School are enjoying a lesson in artistically slapping boys, 1939. A curious British schoolgirl watches the preliminary hearing of serial killer John George Hay, also known as the acid bath murderer, from a window ledge, London, 1949. Steven Spielberg is hanging out with Jaws. German military chaplains, including Franz Justus Rakowski, the Catholic field bishop of the Wehrmacht, are standing in front with a large cross and a trench coat. They're together after a church service in France in 1943. It looks like a vintage photo of a funny man. A thin television screen, only 4 inches thick, with an automatic timer for recording television programs for later viewing. This was in Chicago, Illinois, in June of 1961. This is a prototype portable hairdryer. It's from the 1920s. The design is very compact. It is made of metal. It has a handle, a vent, and an electrical cord. Miklos Horthy, the leader of the Kingdom of Hungary, is visiting wounded Hungarian soldiers in the hospital. These soldiers had fought during the invasion of Carpatho, Ukraine, which happened in March of 1939. Ice Mobile, around 1905, a Grand Trunk car ferry crossing the Detroit River in winter. There were women with racing geese in New York, 1908. An American soldier is guarding the entrance to Shangri-La, which is now called Camp David. This was during a stay by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. At this time, his health was deteriorating, but this was kept a secret from the public. He died the following year, 1945. Migrants in California, refugees from a Texas drought, 1936. Let's see, there's a man, and he's pulling a splinter from a young boy's hand. The boy looks to be maybe 5 years old, and he's sitting on a wooden chair. The man is using a pair of tweezers. There's a woman watching them. She looks like she's about 30 years old, and she's standing next to the boy. They're all outside. 17-year-old Pele in Sweden before the World Cup in 1958. It's an autochrome shot of 3 Greek women. They're wearing their traditional clothes. This was taken in the 1910s. Queen Elizabeth with her much-loved corgis, watching the Royal Windsor Horse Show, 1973. It's a parade of defeated German prisoners of war captured by Soviet soldiers during Operation Bagration. They're being paraded and mocked in Moscow in July 1944. There's a Red Cross nurse and a rescue dog. It's from World War I. Young Princess Diana with her cute guinea pig named Peanut, 1972. Demi Moore, New Mexico, USA in the 1980s. David Bowie at a press conference in Tokyo, April 5th, 1973. Leonhard Seppler, the musher, used a sled dog team to deliver serum to Nome during a diphtheria epidemic in 1925. The weather then was too severe for planes to deliver the serum. An unknown woman stops Picasso and Cocteau from enjoying a bullfight in France in 1956. A man with a beard made of bees from the 1960s. This boy also has a twin brother, but he's not developed and is inside the baby's body, and his legs have become an extra pair of the baby's legs. British tattoo artist George Burchett, the king of tattooists, around 1930. There's a stylish man from the 1880s. Che Guevara around 1934. Folks from West Berlin are showing their kids to their grandparents in East Berlin. It shows the division and the emotional impact of the Berlin Wall. This was in Berlin in 1961. Reginald Oliver Denny is a former construction truck driver. He was pulled from his truck and severely beaten during the 1992 Los Angeles riots. His attackers were a group of black men who targeted Denny because he was white. Henry Cyril Paget, 5th Marquess of England from a county in Wales in 1900. Demi Moore, 1993. Audrey Hepburn with her Oscar for Roman Holiday, from 1954, A Moment of Triumph. Alexander Bloch. A child, maybe a toddler, sits in a large ornate chair. The chair looks old, perhaps antique. The child has a stern expression, almost a pout. They sit rigidly, as if refusing to move or smile. Confederate defenses at Centerville, Virginia, 1862, a Quaker gun. Those fake guns helped deceive Army of the Potomac commander George McClellan into believing he faced a larger and better equipped Confederate force. San Francisco Cliff House, 1890s. In 1910, someone from the Native American Koskimo tribe is standing there wearing a full-body fur garment, along with oversized gloves and a hammy mask during a traditional ceremony. There's a peanut vendor wearing a peanut suit, around 1890. A man is carrying a Coconut Grove burn victim in 1942. Lenin after his third stroke in 1923. The picture was prohibited in the USSR at the time. Sophia Loren kisses her younger sister Anna Maria Villani Sticolone in 1955. In 1972, a burning wall crumbles down in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Elton John performing as Donald Duck in 1980. On October 6, 1889, the Moulin Rouge opened in Montmartre, Paris. Romanov Grand Duchess Olga is wearing the uniform of the 3rd Elizavokratsky Hussars, and her sister Tatiana is wearing the uniform of the Vosnesensky, or Ascension Lancers. This was around 1911. Nurses are showing newborn triplets to their father in a New York hospital, 1946. A Finnish strongman is holding 2 rifles with his teeth during the 1930s. Little Sarakatsana spins wool. This happened in the 1940s. British Army soldiers are benefiting from a mobile bath unit in Burma, which is now Myanmar during the Second World War from 1939 to 1945. There was a skirmish between local Poles and Germans in the Second Silesian Uprising during August of 1920. Testing the effects of smog on people, June 28, 1956. A message-carrying pigeon is being released from a porthole on the side of a British Mark V tank during World War I. This is near Albert, France, in 1918. Imagine it's the 1950s and you're in a subway car in Manhattan. A blonde, green-eyed girl from South Africa was denied status as white. This was in Jet magazine on the 26th of November 1953. Franz Reichelt standing at the top of the Eiffel Tower. This is a heartwarmingly lovely picture of a young woman writing to her sailor. "30 feet of water rushes toward Beardstown, Illinois, after the levee fails, sweeping away the railway, which happened in April of 1922. London's first black police officer, Police Constable Norwell Roberts, on point duty near Charing Cross Station, 1968. Chair, skate, leap. Around 1930, English skater Phil Taylor is doing a daring leap over Frida Whitaker. She's sitting on a chair on the ice at St. Moritz. Leo Tolstoy, Maxim Gorky and Anton Chekhov. Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth, Great Britain, 1950s. Greta Garbo on horseback, 1926. Weldon and Sleepy. February 1942. Weldon and Jasper Sleepy Drake, performing at a barn dance in Weslaco, Texas. A mother looks on as her 7-month-old child is baptized into the Klan, Long Island, New York, July 4th, 1927. It's Picasso and Lee Miller in his studio. The year is 1944. Alright, so we've got a uniquely shaped petrol dump in London from around 1930. The Empire State Building Observatory in New York City in the 1930s. Chiang Kai-shek is inspecting a group of Boy Scouts in Taiwan, 1960. Cologne Cathedral, 1944. Paul McCartney taking a bath in the 1970s. German soldiers removed the train carriage that was used to sign the World War I armistice from a Paris museum. They planned to use it again in the World War II armistice between France and Germany. This happened in June 1940. Princess Elizabeth is reading during the first year of World War II, around 1940. People are fighting to get on a plane in Nha Trang on April 1st, 1975, during the US withdrawal from South Vietnam. An ethnic German identified a Pole as someone who allegedly participated in anti-German violence in Bydgoszcz during Bloody Sunday. Poles denounced this way were usually shot on the spot, which happened in September 1939. Former German SS guards of Treblinka extermination camp hide their faces from reporters during the start of the Treblinka trials. This was in West Germany, 1964. Estonian schoolboys from the Viljandi Student Battalion, 1919, during the Estonian War of Independence. A Korean aristocrat and his porters, Seoul, 1900. Seiko TV, 1982, Watches from the Future. Black humour. A man sits at a table, looking at something. He appears to be in his 30s. He has a thin face and a big nose. He has black hair and a goatee. He's wearing a black shirt. He's looking at a skull on the table. The room appears to be empty. There's a white wall behind him. A German student is taking part in a racial education class in Nazi Germany, 1943. Homecoming Prisoner of War, 1946. Following Bonnie and Clyde's deaths on May 23, 1934. Harley with a Baby Seat, 1962. Jersey Shore, 1906, There's a Sandman in Atlantic City. September 1953. There are teenagers at a party. It's hosted by Betty Betts, who wrote the Teenage Cookbook. Some teenage girls are pulling taffy, and others are watching. Motorcycle racer Roland Free lies horizontally on his bike as he breaks the world speed record on Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats on September 13, 1948. Three generations of Welsh miners from Wales, United Kingdom, 1950. Mining in Wales was an important source of income for the Welsh economy throughout the 19th century and the early to mid-20th century. People in Prague observed 2 minutes of silence to honour the founder of Czechoslovakia, Tomáš Masaryk, during his funeral in 1937. Hundreds of young girls and women who worked in American watch factories during the 1920s were exposed to so much radium that they came home glowing in the dark. Diana Rigg and Anthony Hopkins, 1972. It's about friendship. A friendship perhaps from decades ago. There are two boys, maybe 10 or 12 years old. They are standing together near some trees. The boys are laughing and they look happy. Students at the University of Michigan in 1950. Bob Marley with Miss World, 1976. The 70s saw performance art really take off. In 1971, Chris Burden had himself shot in the arm. He was trying to see what it felt like to be shot. Marina Abramovich did a piece called Rhythm Zero in 1974. She put out 72 objects, some of which could be used to inflict pleasure or pain. People could use the objects on her in any way they chose. Vito Acconti did a performance in 1971 where he followed people around the city. He didn't tell them he was following them. In 1975, Laurie Anderson started performing with a violin. She changed her voice and experimented with music, an electric suspension railway. There were men waiting in line for the possibility of a job during the Great Depression in the 1930s. A girl with smallpox has many ulcers all over her body in 1902. They're playing Pharaoh in 1895. The cane flask. During Prohibition, people came up with all kinds of tricks and products to get around the regulations and the ever-watchful eye of those who enforced them. Men of Action, May 1942, amusement park in Southington, Connecticut. Freak Show, State Fair in Rutland, Vermont, September 1941. There's a Bedouin couple from 1898. Miners Home, Kentucky, 1946. Reporters witnessed the nuclear test on Frenchman Flat on June 24, 1957. Piet van der Zwaard, who weighed 455 pounds, was also known as the fattest man in Europe in 1955. Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo, David Prowse as Darth Vader, Peter Mayhew, who was Chewbacca, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, Mark Hamill, who was Luke Skywalker, and Kenny Baker as R2-D2 in 1977. On August 30th, 1963, teenagers protested the arrival of the Horace Baker family. The Bakers were the first African-American family in the all-white Delmar village of Fulcroft, Pennsylvania,